Today we're talking quality over quantity when filling up your teaching schedule with the most rewarding and stress-free students and families. Hey, if you're new around here, I'm Phoenix and I'm the tattooed piano teacher. When I first started teaching in my early 20s, I felt sort of desperate for students. I just wanted to fill up my schedule. I would take anyone. I just did my best to please every single student that wanted to take lessons with me. That was fine for a while and I got a lot of really good experience working with a lot of different students. And eventually I realized that I enjoyed working with certain students a little more than others. Now I want to be really clear that in this video, I am not saying that there are bad students and good students or bad customers and good customers necessarily. I'm just talking about those families and students that you best align with. Because the truth is, if you try to align with students that just aren't on the same page as you at all, maybe you can do it for a while, but it's going to burn you out and it's not going to be best for the student in the long run. So in this video, I want to talk about who is your ideal student, what works best for you, and who you best align with so that both you and the student can get the best possible experience. And then your precious time slots will be filled with students that you can't wait to see every week. So first of all, what do I mean by your ideal customer? I'm talking about like your people. I'm talking about the people that you are most qualified to help. And I'm talking about the people who appreciate and value you and your services the most. I'm not talking about people who are the same age as you, gender as you, race as you, or anything like that. In fact, having a diverse group of students is one of the wonderful things I love about this job. So that is not what I'm talking about at all. I'm not talking about just creating a bunch of mini yous that look exactly like you. Absolutely not. I'm just talking about people that you can really serve in the best way and people that really want what you have to give. That's where you find the alignment. The best way to describe who your ideal customer is to talk about who isn't ideal for you. Think back to the most frustrating interaction you've had, whether it was a student that you just dreaded their lesson every week, or perhaps a family that when you saw that name pop up in your email inbox, you were like, what's it gonna be now? Those people that fight you on every invoice you send, or those students that just absolutely hate everything that comes out of your mouth and you're like, why are you even here? So we all know what it feels like to not be aligned with a customer. So if you're kind of struggling to picture what that would look like, who your ideal customer is so that you can figure out how to find them out there, then I would go ahead and start with the negative and end with the positive. Grab a piece of paper and a pen and just jot down the first thing that comes to your mind of things that you didn't like about negative experiences from your past. And if you are a new piano teacher, then you can think about other jobs you've had or college experiences you've had, like when you've worked with people. Who do you not align with and why did you not align with them? So an example of this might be someone who is on so tight of a budget that they don't want to purchase any sheet music, someone who really hates theory because I found that I absolutely love to connect everything with theory, or someone who just wants to improvise because I just don't feel comfortable with that. Okay, so you get my point. Just make that list of like your no thank yous. And then in another column, write down what the opposite of that would be. So someone who is excited to purchase new music every month and appreciates your suggestions and you're doing the shopping for them. The opposite of someone who never wants to do theory would be someone who is really interested in the brain side of things and really wants what you have to offer in that regard, or someone who really wants to learn how to read music in the classical way rather than improvise things. So you get my point. It can be on the business side of things, it can be on the conversation side of things, it can be on the curriculum side of things, but whatever it is for you, because this is going to be different for every person. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little idea of how to find what your ideal customer would be. You might be thinking, okay, but is that selfish because somebody who is on a tight budget deserves a piano teacher too? Am I being selfish by turning people away that aren't aligned with me? Shouldn't I just take everybody in as one big happy family. Like, isn't it on me to make it work? That's what I used to think. But you see, you can't keep it up if your job exhausts you, either emotionally, mentally, or physically. It's going to result in burnout if you have so many students that are asking for things that make you uncomfortable, etc. The benefit for you is that you can be your best teacher self when you are aligned with what you're doing and who you're doing it with. And that in turn is the benefit to the student. If you've ever had teacher burnout, you know that you are not providing the best service to that student and they are going to feel your low energy. But if you are there just ready to talk about theory and you know they want to hear about it and you are both just totally on the same page, you're excited about it, so they're excited about it, that's where they're going to get the best experience. And there are other teachers out there, and every piano teacher is a little bit different. So let those who don't align with you find someone that they align with. For the rest of this video, let's talk about, okay, you know what your ideal customer kind of looks like, and you're going to be open-minded about a lot of things as well in addition to that, and you know you're not being selfish. So how do you find them? Okay, so step one is to make your prices upfront. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's on your website or in the first email, make it really clear what you're charging. Oftentimes, as entrepreneurs, we're kind of like apologetic of our prices and we're like, oh, well, let's just get to know them first and then we'll drop the dollar sign a little bit later after they figured out they like me. Don't waste your time. Don't waste their time. Just make those prices really clear. So if you are a higher priced service, you're going to find the people who want what you have to offer by saying, here's the bracket I'm in, even if it's approximate. So if you don't offer $20 lessons, then don't put on your website that it starts at $20, Okay. Step two, to make sure that you're attracting the right customers, is to make your policies up front. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend throwing all of your policies onto the website. I don't think the website is for that. However, if you have a strong policy that maybe wouldn't be obvious to a new customer coming in, then maybe you would want to allude to it on your website. But really, within the first couple of emails, you want people to have access to those policies. You want to highlight the things that are most important to you. So if it's really, really important to you that you never teach a makeup lesson and you never give refunds or something like that, that maybe people have had a different experience in the past or have different assumptions, then make that super clear. Again, I know we want to be super friendly in those first interactions. We're like, oh, we'll just sneak the policies into the bottom of the final email before they sign up or something like that. No, don't do that. Make sure that your policies are super clear, thorough, readable, and that they highlight the things that are most important to you. Let people know up front, because if they are going to give you a fuss every time they cancel a lesson and they take lessons for 5 years with you, then that's 5 years of headaches for you every single time they need to miss a lesson. You have to go over the policies again. Make sure they understand up front. If you don't have clear policies right now, I'm going to put a link in the description. I have a free Canva template that actually outlines my policies, and then you can change them to align with your studio's policies. But if you need something official you can print out, I have a free template. Step three is, okay, now we're getting a little less tangible. It's authenticity. Okay, so this is going to look different for everybody, but you need to be your authentic self. I hope that makes sense. When I was in my early 20s, just starting my piano teacher journey, I remember wearing suits, like I was in an office or something. And I tried to be super conservative in the way that I talked and the way that I acted, because I thought that that's what a piano teacher looked like. But that's exhausting to try to be something that you're not. So now, yeah, I have piercings and tattoos and bright red hair, and here I am. This is who I am. I think this is something that happens just as you get older anyways. You're just allowed to be your authentic self. But if you are a younger piano teacher, don't be shy about the fact that you like to listen to metal and you like to, whoever you are, just find your people. Don't be like me and try to be like everybody else, because that's going to wear you out too. As far as aesthetically, I would say my advice to you would be to find a way to look professional in your authentic self. So for me, that's dressing up a little bit. I've got my, hair and makeup look that I go with. And my piano students know that I look put together, but I'm also being myself too. So I'm not saying like your authentic self is sweatpants. You should always just wear your sweatpants to teach because you want to feel like your most professional self as well. But you have to find a way to do it authentically. This also is with your personality as well, and being upfront with people in your first conversations about what you're like and what the atmosphere will be like at your studio. Don't pretend like you have like the Walmart chain store of studios if it's just in your back spare bedroom. You know, be upfront of like, this is a home setting. Again, you want to attract the people who want what you have to offer. Step 4 is to think about what your piano teacher niche is. In business, a niche is like your little pocket of the internet or of your business where you're going to attract like the people that specifically want what you have to offer. Example, let's say you owned your own music store, and if you tried to, again, I'll use Walmart as an example. If you tried to be like the Walmart of music stores and have a little bit of everything, you're probably not going to be able to compete with the Guitar Center down the road, etc. But what if you were the expert on ukuleles? That was your thing. You had salespeople that knew everything there was to know about traditional Hawaiian music, ukuleles. Then anyone who wants a ukulele is going to come to your store. Okay, so that's what a niche is. So I want you to think about like, you don't have to be everybody's piano teacher. What is your thing? Over the years, I have found that there's a certain age group that I enjoy working with more and that I'm more, let's say, successful with working. I can teach any age, but there's just like this particular age group that just works super well for me. And I think as you teach, you learn more about that. But on the other hand, I've also learned that I'm really good at getting people to compose, like to get their creativity rolling. So teaching composition and arranging is another one of my strong suits. I also love talking theory. I create theory books, theory. So that's another one of my things. So if I roll those all together, then let's call that my niche or perhaps my niches. So really think about this. If you don't know what you're good at and what you can best offer to students, then that might take a little soul searching, or maybe you just need some more experience. But think about that and then promote yourself as that. Not just your everyday generic piano teacher, you specialize in fill in the blank. Step 5 is, I would suggest raising your prices. By raising your prices, this is going to be controversial. You are inviting more serious students, people who it's not like a socioeconomical thing as much as like those people who are really gonna go all in. So I'm not saying like charge prices like a lawyer, so only 5 people in your town are going to be able to afford you. I mean, unless that's you, do your thing. But again, this goes back to you don't have to be everybody's piano teacher. If you take your town's going rate and you just raise it up a little bit, then it's just one more barrier for those people who aren't going to be the high vibration alignment customers to get access to you. I hope that makes sense. Don't come at me in the comments. I actually have a video talking about this topic. It's called Stop Offering Cheap Piano Lessons. So if you want to hear me babble on about that topic a little bit more, check that out here. Okay, I have one final idea for you to attract your ideal customers before I give you that final tip. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe so you can come back, hang out with us. We would love to have you here in our little piano teacher community. Okay, so the 6th thing I want you to do is to narrow your options. It's really tempting to offer 15-minute, 30-minute, 45-minute, 60-minute private lessons, and then the partner lessons and the group lessons and the this and that. What do you want to do with your week? Think about that. And if you hate teaching 15-minute lessons to 3-year-olds, then don't offer 15-minute lessons to 3-year-olds. And if you hate teaching hour-long group sessions to adults, then don't offer hour-long group sessions to adults, you know? You don't have to be everybody's piano teacher. If your favorite thing to do is to offer 40-minute partner lessons, then offer 40-minute partner lessons. That's my favorite. I also have a video about why I love 40-minute lessons because I know this is kind of random. So think about that as well. A lot of this is like on your website, in your initial conversations with people, and really just thinking about like, what do you like to do? What are you good at doing? What has been most successful for you? And the more experience you have as a piano teacher, make sure you're using that knowledge and not just going through the motions and doing the same old thing you've been doing for 10, 15, 20 plus years. Think about how you want to spend your time so that you are most energized by your wonderful career as a piano teacher. Okay, so leave a comment to let me know you're here. I'm wondering what you guys think about the topic of niche as a piano teacher. Like, do piano teachers need a niche? Should we talk about that more? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. We can make a video all about that. I've got the policy template in the description along with links to all the videos that I mentioned. And I will link that Stop Offering Cheap Piano Lessons video right here. I hope to see you there or on another video.